Hello my friend and welcome back. My name is Hana and today let's talk about my makeup experience at school. So if you're curious about what I'm wearing on my face, what I mentioned in today's video, and what I'm doing in other pockets of the internet, I always have links in the description box down below. If you do decide to shop my links, you are shopping clean links as none of mine are sponsored or affiliated, and I do not copy and paste anybody else's sponsored or affiliated links. If this is your first time tuning in to me talking about my experience with my esthetician schooling, I will not mention where I've gone to school or which schooling chain I'm with until I graduate and I'm no longer associated with that school, just to kind of protect my safety and my classmates' safety, because whatever you put on the internet stays on the internet. So DM me, if you're looking at schools and what some of your thoughts and opinions are. The whole point of this series is to kind of share my experience in coming into my state board testing and into the industry. I feel like not too many people talk about it, and I don't know. There are some things that I wish some people told me, or that I had some recollection of, or an inkling of, instead of, just kind of jumping into whatever school. But I totally understand, because sometimes there's only one school near you, and so you're kind of forced. I don't think that there's any school that is absolutely perfect. I think you just kind of have to keep your head down, get your hours in, take the test, and then you can go and learn and do all of the things. So if you're definitely a self-sufficient person, I think you could totally do that. If you kind of need to be, led to water to drink, it might be a little bit different. But we started makeup this week, and I think the last time I talked to you guys was right before I saw the Barbie movie, and I had 2 weeks left of school. I passed my final. I got an A in my class for basic skin, and now I'm in my mud makeup routine. And it was supposed to be basic skin and then 4 weeks of makeup, and then I was in advanced. And it seems like advanced and makeup are kind of happening at the same time. So our advanced, or our mud makeup, is actually with the advanced girls. So we're still a class of 16 or so, but instead of having the Cosmos with us, because now the Cosmos are doing hair and they're out on what we call the floor. It's just the Esties in the class, and I think we're doing makeup Tuesday, Wednesday, actual theory and application, and then Monday's a study day, a homeroom kind of situation, and then Thursday, Friday is supposed to be our advanced class periods, but we are also kind of wrapping up makeup if we needed the extra time for makeup. And then the advanced girls on Fridays are going into what we call their safety class, which is basically just the safety things that would be on the state board. They're basically preparing for state board because they graduate in November. So we got our mud makeup kits. Mud is the makeup designery is, I think, the name of the brand, but it's also a franchise that also does schooling, kind of like a Dermalogica. I laugh because I'm sure you can see it in the camera when it's supposed to be MUD, but in the camera it is totally reading something different. And so every time I look in the mirror and I see it, I crack up, because I'm there's no way that's real, and it is. And no one has seemed to caught on to it yet as to why I giggle uncontrollably every time. But let's talk about what's in my kit. Because for me, learning makeup on a professional scale, I wanted the inclusivity to be there. And so some of these products kind of make me laugh a little bit when I see what's here. And what I mean by inclusivity, I mean not just in skin type, skin tones, but also in makeup aesthetics kind of thing. So this is our face primer. It's a silicone primer, and it looks like jelly in the container. We haven't started to use this yet. I'm nervous about starting to use this. I feel like all of this makeup, by the way, is gonna break me out. I'm not very confident in its quality, I'll say. But this is the first we have 2 eyeshadow palettes. This is the neutral one, and it had, like, I keep this little sleeve because it has the shade names on there. Like, I'm annoyed that it's not in the palette. But I think that they're little, like, magnetic palettes. But this is the palette, or excuse me, this isn't the basic palette. This is supposed to be our colorful palette. So as you can see, neutrals, pops of color. But even then, like, these are all kind of like metallics. This one is like a matte, but the rest of them are like a metallic. Interesting. Not very impressed with that. Like, when you see the other palette, you know, it's just kind of like, what kind of boring looks are we gonna have to do? This is the second palette. This is the neutral palette. There we go. I wish this was like a white matte, but it's an apricot kind of shade, but that's okay, you know, it's fine. And then this is our cheek palette, and again, it's not anything. This one's kind of like a highlight. We don't have a highlighter, but we have this, and we don't have like a contour or a bronze or anything like that. I'll show you what we have to use for contour, bronze, and highlight, and you guys are gonna be like, oh my god, what is going on? Ooh, I have 4 pencils, 2 lip pencils, and 2 eyeliners. Ooh, this one is a lip pencil, this one is a lip pencil. So I basically have like a nude and a red. And then I have a black and a taupe pencil. I have a brow gel and a waterproof mascara. The fact that they're in very similar containers and I just have to look for this blue mark kind of scares me. Because what if I accidentally put a mascara through someone's brows? This is our lip gloss. It's not really, it's giving like Claire's makeup. And then we have a cake liner, but I'm pretty sure this is just the brown or the black eyeshadow from the palette, but now we have it as its own thing. That's interesting. And then I have 3 lipsticks. This one is Ladybug. Ew, it's got like bumps and sweatiness. It's giving me Jaclyn Hill lipsticks. I have Rustic, which is like a terracotta shade. She looks a little bit better. And then I have Rose Clay, which I'm thinking this is like the nude, yeah, like a nude tone. I don't want to swatch these because these aren't like my personal products. Like, essentially I'm supposed to get clients in and I'm supposed to use these products on them. So there's that. And then I have, this is our translucent powder. This has so much kickback. So one of our first homework assignments was doing a grayscale of our foundation products. And I set it with powder so it wouldn't transfer on the sheets. And the way that this made every shade absolutely white was scary. It comes with this little card that talks about the sweatiness and like the cracks and oils and whatever. That's fine. Because when I first opened these were all like cracked and like super oily. These are the foundation base products, and I'll talk about these a little bit more in just a minute. But this is what I'm supposed to use for foundation. And then this is the highlights and shadow palette, and then this is the color corrector palette. So this is what I'm supposed to use to create highlighter and bronzing contour. And this is what I'm supposed to use to color correct on shades. And then this is what I'm supposed to use to create a foundation base. So I'm going to open these so I can show you kind of what that looks like. So this one, this is the foundation palette number 1, and this has YG1, YG2, YG3, GY1, GY2, GY3, DW5, DC5. And then this is the foundation, or this is the foundation palette 2. This is the foundation palette number 1. So this has WB2, WB3, WB4, WB5, and then this is CB2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the base tones. Like basically the way that this makeup is set up, it's like a formula. So like think of algebra, x plus y equals b, or whatever you want to, whatever algebraic equation you want to use. Basically you're supposed to plug in the shades to create the formula that you need. Obviously this is my base, but a majority of the base of the girls in my class, I have a few other classmates that have like a deeper base, if you will, but it seems like a lot of us kind of stem out of this one. And so we would take your main base, and then to add the undertone and the shade, like the pigment, you would add these. So for me, I'm CB5, and then I take more of YG2 and a little bit of YG1 to mix that together to get my shade base. Basically the shade names, it's warm base 2 through 5, but that's warm base, fair, light, medium, deep. And then this is CB 2 through 5, cool base, light, fair, light, medium, deep. And then YG 1, 2, and 3 is yellow, green. And then GY 1 through 3 is green, yellow. So YG, the yellow green, would be more for like my warmer base, kind of more yellow undertone gals. And then GY would be the more green yellow, so it's for my more like olive toned girls. And then DW, I believe, is deep warm, and DC is deep cool. So everyone is supposed to be kind of covered between these two palettes. I'm supposed to mix these together to make my palettes as needed, which I think I can do with ease. I got it pretty easily. I'm kind of impressed at my class that we were able to kind of shade match fairly easily. Like if we didn't get it on the first try, we definitely got it on the second try, and the first try wasn't like far off, and maybe the depth wasn't there, or the shade wasn't quite there, so you just had to mix a little bit more of something to kind of get it perfect. But other than that, I think we did a pretty decent job with all of that. The thing that I was more concerned about was, because I do have some classmates that have like deeper skin tones, and I wanted to make sure that this palette, or that this makeup line that we're using, was inclusive. Because I don't know, it's talked about a lot, you know, when you watch YouTube videos and they're talking about new makeup releases and like what brands are doing, and you know, scandal amongst brands and things like that. Because if they're not inclusive, that becomes an issue. And I didn't want to learn on a more professional level from like a brand that wasn't very inclusive. So I made sure, you know, with the girls in my class that had deeper skin tones, that I could match them. And it seems like we can. So it seems like we're covered. But right now we're working on foundations. I don't know what we're doing next week, but so far it's just been kind of fun to kind of get back into makeup and kind of explain the skills and things that I have. We are using like the little square tipped sponges. You can use them like a normal, like, you know, like a makeup sponge, which I've been doing, and just the different techniques and how we apply makeup. And my teacher obviously can tell that, you know, I'm very excited, and there's a few other girls in my class as well that, you know, we always talk about makeup and like YouTube stuff and whatever. So it's just been kind of nice to have that and to kind of get back into my roots. But so far the foundation thing has been interesting. I can tell which girls in my class are more like the artistic type, where, you know, maybe math wasn't like their strong suit. Because like when I was doing my homework originally, and I was like, oh, this is like a formula, like it's like math, you just have to plug in your numbers. They didn't quite understand that concept. It was like brand new and different to them. And then when I kind of explained how it was like a formula, and I was kind of giving the whole class like the rundown of it, they were like, oh, that makes so much more sense, and like that's super easy, and kind of plugging it in as a formula, it clicks. It's not, you know, because we were going over color wheel and things like that, like it's just all very basic right now. But that's what I have this week as far as schooling goes. So if you'd like to see more and you don't want to miss out on another video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because every week I kind of do like a roundup of what I've learned in the week to keep you guys updated. I'm really excited to share with you what I learned in advanced as well, because that's when I get into like the microdermabrasion machines and things like that. So I don't know, I feel like February is going to be here before I know it, and then I'll be done. And that's kind of what I have to keep reminding myself, because like I'm finding it to be a little bit more difficult to go to school every day, because like I just don't, Monday through Friday, it's like I have no time, and then I only have time on the weekends, and then I just want to sit down and like close my eyes. I feel like I'm like constantly moving. But I don't know, let me know if you're going to school down below. What are some things that you would be the most interested in learning or seeing when it comes to like my makeup experience? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.